Okay.
And so it's debatable whether LeBron's getting market value. Is that right, Dan?
That won't count against your time. Marcelo.
Mr. Gilbert, my question deals with geography. Isn't it true that because the issue permanently deals the Mahoning Valley and the rest of eastern Ohio out of the casino business, hundreds of thousands of Ohioans will still travel to West Virginia and Pennsylvania to gamble because, sir, those casinos will be much closer than the chosen few your scheme calls for? And doesn't that make your claim that Issue 3 will recapture the dollars from those states a flat-out untruth?
No, actually, it's a flat-out truth, because here's the deal. There's right now $1.5 billion that leaves the state from Ohio citizens that gets gambled and out of state. We said $1 billion would come back. We said 2/3 would be repatriated here, not to mention, of course, organic growth, convention center business, and everything else. Again, another question you may want to ask yourself is Youngstown more likely or less likely to get a casino in the future, assuming that these 4 casinos do well and fly and create jobs and create those urban centers to be something different and create convention business? I would say that clearly if that works, the market forces will work, and there will be another group or somebody else that says, you know what, there's 23 casinos in Michigan, there's 4 here in Ohio, here's our amendment, we need to add 4 more in Youngstown and wherever else they want to put them. So I think it actually improves the chances for Youngstown to get a casino if the market dictates that it should have one.
And that may be the case, but you haven't heard me here arguing whether Youngstown should or shouldn't get a casino. The way this proposal is structured now, it is a constitutional amendment. So even if the market forces said, you know, Youngstown should have a casino, unless we were going to go back to the Constitution, there is no way that any other place in Ohio would have a casino. And the casino operators who already have a monopoly, unless they saw it in their best interest, they're not going to be interested in it at all to go back to the Constitution to make sure that Constitution is amended. So let's make sure we understand what we're talking about here. This isn't a decision that can be made by the legislature or the governor. Tens of millions of dollars will have to be spent to, again, amend the Constitution. But, again, this is bigger than Youngstown. We're talking about a statewide issue and how to do casinos, if we want them, how to do them correctly.
I'll make a, and maybe my partners may not like this, I'll make a statement right here, right now. Unlike your lifetime Clevelander, who owns a casino in West Virginia, who is spending millions with the group sitting at one of these tables here, to make sure that Ohioans don't stop coming to their casino in West Virginia and making up all kinds of stuff on television. If there was another amendment for casinos in Ohio, there will get zero resistance, and we will have $0 opposing it in any way, shape, or form. That's so, you know, it's open to whoever can convince the Ohio voters to go ahead and say, we need more. And you know what, the Ohio voters are smart, and I guess the governor, legislature, and politicians think that they should have the right to make the determination. I think 11.5 million people should make that decision for themselves, and they've already made the right decision 4 times. If they make it right on this one, at least we know we wrote the proposal somewhat right.
I appreciate that, but saying that we won't resist something that is next to impossible to accomplish, you know, is not saying a whole lot. You know, again, the constitutional amendment requires tens of millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of signatures. So the fact that you say, well, we'll sit on the sideline, you know, it's almost an insurmountable hurdle in the first place. That's why we've been here 4 times, now going on 5, spending probably upwards collectively of over $100 million.
If it's an insurmountable...
Yo, guys, let's do another question.
I'm sorry.
I know, I could stay all day too. Jessica.
That's a technical foul.
I'm sorry.
This question is for Mr. Gilbert. While we understand some people view tower cranes and orange barrels as nuisances navigating themselves around downtown Cleveland, we at the Building Trades absolutely view it as a necessity to get jobs going, to get downtown Cleveland going. Recently, Mayor Jackson and City Council kick-started a job on the east bank of the Flats. Mr. Gilbert, to you, can we get some assurance that if Issue 3 passes, we could look forward to another big job in downtown Cleveland? 60-second shot clock.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, that's why all of the unions have supported us, and we've met with all of them. And, you know, Steve Loomis, I see he's here from the Fraternal Order of Police, and why they've come along, you know, and we saw some of the insulting, crazy, almost outrageous kind of ads that were shown with priests beating policemen over the head in pictures. There's crazy stuff that these casino operators are throwing at the Ohio citizens to try to distort the real facts. You know why they're doing all this? Because they can't attack the proposal, because the proposal is right and the proposal is fair, so they make stuff up. Cash wagering. Complete farce. All cash wagering is taxed. In fact, the state of Ohio, not us said it, but the state of Ohio said it. They said it last week, and they said it's not even an issue. Affect charity gaming, not an issue whatsoever. There's nothing in this amendment that says this. So that's why the election board cited them last week and is going to the further committee to do whatever it is they do.
30 seconds.
Cleveland is a phenomenal city, obviously second only in my mind to Youngstown, Ohio. There is nothing more than I'd like to see, other than Youngstown's revitalization. I've spent years working in the city, family in the city. I want to see Cleveland revitalized. But this issue isn't about Cleveland. If we were talking about amending the Cleveland City Charter, I wouldn't be sitting here. I have no place here. But we're talking about amending the state's constitution. We can create those jobs for the trade unions, but we can do it in a way that doesn't sell the state constitution short. We can do it in a way that generates revenue far above what issue 3 is saying. This isn't the right proposal for Ohio. Again, it's bigger than Cleveland, it's bigger than Youngstown. It's about the state's constitution and whether or not we're going to allow it to be turned over to a monopoly while leaving all this additional revenue on the table.
Marcelo.
Hi, this question is for Mr. Gilbert. I understand that you were arrested in the past for illegal bookmaking. So if issue 3 passes, can you tell me what crimes do you believe should preclude individuals from getting a gaming license? And specifically, is bookmaking one of those crimes?
Yeah, so when I was 18 years old, at Michigan State, when I was a freshman in the dorm room, we had, you know, those little cards, NFL cards that you play. I don't know, Bernie might have been playing that, I don't know. And somebody, you know, walked into some policeman on the corner who came in and they swept the dorms and they took out 4 or 5 or 7 of them. I can't even remember the number. And then they dropped the case a few months later and no money was ever exchanged. So that's what happened to me at Michigan State. So as far as you know, any other, what crimes? I don't know, probably murder, rape, extortion of funds, larceny, you know, things like that. So, good question, though. So.
I think it's an irrelevant issue. Listen, I don't want everything I did in college broadcast. So
We'll leave it there.
Yeah, that's what we didn't get arrested
Right,
for.
Yes.
You know.
This is a question for the panel. As it relates to Ohio's 88 counties and all Ohio's 88 counties are strapped for funds, for us to also know that the state is strapped for funds too. How will these 4 casinos benefit the all 88 counties in the state of Ohio as far as dividing up of revenue amongst the counties?
1 minute each. Mr. Gilbert, you may go first.
Yeah, so this information is published, and we publish it, and you can get it on our website as well. But it's basically by population of the 88 counties in proportion to for the education part, proportion of the student population, and the county part, proportion of the population over the total population. So, and then in the 8 biggest cities in Ohio, they're guaranteed to get 50% of what the county would get, regardless of how much percent of the population they are of the county. So the cities are assured of getting that money, and that's what the voters told us when we polled them. They wanted it local. They wanted to go to education, to law enforcement, to schools, and so we literally, and when we put this thing on the board, we said let's not be so arrogant that we think we should know what Ohioans want. Let's ask them, and we asked them, and that's really how this proposal got written.
money does go to the counties in issue 3. However, again, when Mr. Gilbert talks about asking the voters, where the voters ask who should set the tax rate, so the amount of money going to the counties has been dictated by those who wrote the proposal, the casino operators, at 33%, as opposed to 50 or 55 or 67. Let's say we don't even go 67, but how about 50 or 55? So when you ask the voters their opinion, it was selectively making sure that we're not going to ask them, should we as the casino operators who pay the taxes set the tax rate? Should we as the casino operators set what the licensing fee should be, which ultimately directly determines how much money you're going to get? Again, I think the average voter would say, you know what, let the market determine the price of the licenses, and I think that the tax rates shouldn't be set by the people who pay them.
The Ohio bishops, the Ohio Council of Churches, United Methodists, and others, for over 2 decades now, have opposed the expansion of casino gambling. Why are they wrong?
Would you like one person or the other to answer? Both? Mayor Williams?
I can't speak on behalf of the Ohio churches and those who have opposed it. Again, the debate here is not whether Ohio should or shouldn't have casino gambling. The debate here is whether issue 3 is the right proposal. I'm saying it's not because of the fact that it leaves $470+ million on the table.